Everyone, we
Working.
are live.
Perfect.
It's
Great.
Tony here, and a massive, massive thank you. Everyone, I've got information that you need to hear. So, okay, so put your phone
Turn
down,
your
take a
sound up,
breath, tune in
Sebastian.
here, because you're about to see something that most retail traders will never get access to. Okay, I'm talking about a strategy that I use on the institutional desk to manage billions of dollars in the market. Now, some of you might be thinking,
Turn it up a
Tony, I
lot
don't know
more.
anything about gold. Yeah, I've seen it in the news. I'm a little scared to get involved, but how can I actually make money from this? And here's the truth. You don't need to know anything about gold. You need to know how institutions trade it. And right now, gold is going through something called a commodity super cycle, right? So we see central banks, they're buying, sovereign wealth funds, they are buying, family offices, they're positioning. Now, they're not just buying and holding gold, okay? They're actively trading it. And I'll tell you, they're not guessing when it comes to how to trade precious metals. They're following a system. So I'm going to show you guys the exact strategy that I used when I was on the institutional desk, right? The same one managing millions of dollars worth of positions. Now, everyone, this is a repeatable system that works if you're willing to listen and do the work. Are you guys ready? Let me hear it in the chat. Put a number one in the chat if you guys are stoked to hear about what I have to tell you. Right? Awesome, awesome, awesome. I see it all coming through. One. Here we go. So one major question you should have in your mind is, why gold? Right? I mean, you've obviously probably seen it in the news lately. I mean, even in January, right? Gold absolutely blew past $5,000 an ounce for the first time ever. And it's still climbing. So, I mean, look at this chart right here. I mean, gold has been absolutely crushing it, right? Outperforming stocks, beating inflation, making headlines everywhere. So, what's driving this? So, take a guess. Let me know in the chat. Who here can guess why gold prices are going up? Let me know. Let me know in that. Okay, see insider trading, maybe, right? Dollar dying. Good one, Tim. All right. Yes. Okay, Bree, lots of buying, inflation fears, all valid answers. Well, guys, I'm going to tell you, gold is where the money runs when it's scared. Maybe you've run to gold because you're a little shaky about what's going on in the market, right? I mean, let me ask you, how many of you trust the government to always make the right financial decisions? Let me know in the chat. Okay, yeah, not many. Crickets here. Not many hands going up. Okay, I see Henry. He only trusts himself. Lovely. Right, well, here's the thing. Central banks, they don't trust the government either to make the right financial decisions. But they have the power to do something about it. So take a look at this chart right here. This is actually the percentage of assets denominated in US dollars over the last 20 years. Okay, that red line and the blue line, they're basically the same thing. Okay, red line is just exchange rate adjusted. But take a look at that red line there. Notice anything about it? That's the percentage of assets denominated in US dollars. It's been on the decline, and it's really been accelerating in the last few years, noticeably. So to sum it up, right, the dollar is being used less and less. So instead, central banks are actually moving out of US dollars and putting their reserves into gold. And check out this graph, that pink area at the top. That's gold reserves held by central banks. Okay, gold now represents 20% of their total reserves, where historically it's only been like 10 to 15%. I mean, central banks, they now hold more gold than they do euros. And again, the dollar is becoming less and less used, right? And this is why gold has been such an amazing product to trade and to make money from, because there is so much demand daily. And, take a look at this chart. This is actually from the World Gold Council. And since 2022, central banks have bought over 1,000 tons of gold every single year. So who's buying this stuff? I mean, it's China, Poland, India, Turkey, Singapore, some countries you wouldn't even expect. And here's my question for you. So if the smartest financial minds, essentially managing trillions of dollars for entire countries, are buying gold, then shouldn't we be paying attention? Type it in the chat. Yes. I see wise in the chat. Absolutely, of course. I mean, I say yes. And guys, trading precious metals has never been easier, especially when you have someone like me, an ex-insider, to guide you. Now, in a bit, I'm actually going to show you guys that, I don't care what the price of gold is doing, right? It's going up, it's going down, but I make money when it goes up and when it goes down with the same strategy that I used on the institutional desk. Now, I've got to share this with you, right? The moment that led me to create this webinar for you. So growing up, Italian father, Spanish mother. They both worked relentlessly, but we were broke. And, many of you have probably come from a home where money wasn't just tight. It was probably and still is a constant source of stress, right? I know how you feel. Well, guys, everyone has their reason for doing something. And that pain, that became my fuel to succeed in finance and trading. So while my friends were, playing fantasy football, I was begging my mother to open up a trading account so I could trade commodities. I mean, this is at the age of like 16. I was absolutely obsessed. And after this, I buckled down. I went to the University of Massachusetts to study finance and something called alternative investments. Okay, it's the boring stuff like hedge funds, quantitative mathematics, stuff like that. At university, I had a professor, his name's Rob Feingold. He pulled me aside. He said, Tony, you got an absolute gift for the markets. So I'm going to do something special. I'm going to connect you with the most powerful people that I know. So immediately I took action. I got a job. I worked for a natural gas trading house down in Washington, D.C. Then I took a commodities roll up here in the Northeast, where I am now. But I knew I had to make the ultimate move, right? Go to the city, work for a real institution. So I landed on an institutional trading desk in Boston, working with hedge funds, wealth funds, those family offices. And here's what I discovered. There's a completely different game being played at that level, a game that you and I never knew existed, right? So they plucked me out of university because I was smart enough to think like they do, right? They molded me into an institutional trader. I learned their secrets, their systems, their playbook. That's me down there at Wall Street, New York Stock Exchange, right? So I rode the commodity super cycle that was happening during COVID. I was there the day that oil went negative. And after 7 years, I walked away. Why? Because I cracked the system. I figured out how to use their playbook for myself. So I was the institution, right? I saw what they've been hiding from everyone. So it leads me to why am I here? Right, well, they paid me a lot, but not enough, and certainly not what they promised me, so I left. Right, I started creating my own indicators, my own algorithms, and I took the same indicators that I used on the desk with me. Now, those same hedge funds, right, they pay me 6 figures a year to license my algorithms. And today, my day-to-day, I spend 20, 30 minutes a day trading, the rest playing with my son, building algos, teaching people like you, because I love teaching people. Right, that's trading doesn't have to be reserved for people who have PhDs in math. But here's the unfortunate truth. The institutions, the hedge funds, they don't want you to have a profitable strategy. They want you broke. They want you churning your account, providing liquidity to the market. But I'm pulling back the curtain, okay? I'm going to show you guys exactly what they've been hiding because I was them. And now I'm here for you. I taking a look at the chat. I'll glance at the chat every once in a while, guys. I see Amelia in the chat. She says, stick it to the man. I love it. Okay. Well, stick with me here, guys, okay? Because I want to tell you about what I've done. Okay, a little bit about what my track record is and how I can, hopefully successfully and profitably help you navigate the market. So here's just a brief overview of some examples of my expertise. So I'm a registered institutional trader with the SEC and FINRA. Okay, so what does that mean? So these are actually financial regulators. They certify individuals like myself to make sure that we're qualified to trade institutional money. So you actually can't even trade for billion-dollar funds in the U.S. without these very licenses that you see on the screen here. And before I started teaching, like I said, I was the institution. I traded for them. So I've traded for billion-dollar funds. In my last year on the institutional side, I think I traded over $3.5 billion worth of securities. So like I said, stick with me because my main objective with this webinar is to give you guys the information and, of course, the money-generating strategy that's been locked away from retail traders. And I'm going to show you guys an indicator that I use on the institutional desk, an indicator that works, and it works really well. So let me ask you guys something. If you knew how to trade successfully and you could enter into competitions to win thousands of dollars, basically for just testing yourself, would you do it? Jack says, duh, right? Of course, right? So that's what I do all the time. Trading challenges, competitions. I mean, I can't even tell you. When I say I'm obsessed, I'm telling the truth. So while other guys are, at the gym trying to get bigger biceps, I'm in the market trying to get a bigger bank account. And here's the thing. I've won so many of these challenges. I mean, I go up against them all, right? I'm a funded trader 10, 20, 50 times over, and I'm not kidding. So one trading challenge, I made $15,000 in a few days. Another one, it was $34,000 in like 5 days. I mean, how many of you have heard from, or maybe even have, right, these teachers or gurus who, talk the talk, but they don't actually walk the walk? Well, me too. I mean, I've seen them, I've talked to them, they've wanted to hire me to get information from me. They're what I call preachers, not teachers. Okay, and I made a decision very early on that I'm only going to teach what I actually do. So that's a photo of me, a little celebration photo, because you know what? I mean, you can't forget to celebrate the wins, both big and small, right? But as I said, I'm actually living and doing this stuff. I mean, I could open up my account today and show you everything that I'm teaching you here. And I will when I get into some of the trades that I do in the live market. And we're going to get into some of these live trades that I make in gold. So stick around and let's see who I can't help succeed. Because here's the truth. You should listen to teachers and not to preachers. Right? So come on, guys. Who here wants to see the actual indicator that I use to win these competitions? Type me in the chat. Let me know. Come on, guys. Now, how many of you would like to know how I trade without using any of my own money? How about that? Type a Y for yes in the chat. Come on, guys. Type it in. How many of you would like to know how you could do the same thing without risking any of your own money? Yep, I see Y's, Y, 111. Awesome, guys. Type it in. Does it sound too good to be true? Well, guys, you'll learn this, but I don't gatekeep, okay? Let me explain how I do it. It's called prop trading, okay? If you're not familiar with prop trading, it stands for proprietary trading. Okay, now these are companies that provide capital to qualified traders who have the skill and discipline to trade profitably. So here's how it works. They give you a simulated trading account, say, $50,000, but it's not your real money. It's their simulated capital that you trade with live in the market. You want to think of the prop account like a high-tech flight simulator, right? You learn, you understand the theory, right? But you don't jump into a $10 million jet and say, I'll give it a go, right? In the simulator, you jump into the simulator, right? The controls are real. The pressure feels authentic, right? But if you crash, you simply hit reset. And in the prop trading world, you hit reset with just paying a small fee. So here's the beauty of prop trading. You can trade a $50,000 account. Once you hit your profit target, you can begin withdrawing real profits. So I'm winning these challenges, proving that my strategy works and getting paid, all without risking a dime of my own money in the market. And guys, when you get the chance to withdraw those profits, they send you an email just like this. So you know that your funds, they're on the way to your bank account. This is actually one payout. I received $2,700 from one prop account. I mean, sometimes it's like shooting fish in a barrel with my indicator. And take a look at this right here. I mean, how many of you would like to get these payout notifications, right? And again, this is just from one of the prop accounts that I have, from one firm, right? That's the power of having a proven system, and that's what I'm going to teach you guys. And again, I'm passing these challenges, getting the payouts all the time. I got this one end of October 2025, another one right at the end of the year, right before New Year's, and I'm not here to brag, right? I want to see your names on these certificates one day, and I'm confident that I can get you there. How? By showing you guys the only indicator that you'll ever need. Now, I know what you're thinking, right? Tony, I'm fired up. I know I want to make money, investing and trading gold, but how? Like, how do I actually do this? Well, right here, right now, I'm going to break it down. Okay, the exact strategy that I use, same strategy that delivers money to my bank account every single month. Are you guys ready for this? So let's get the energy up here, guys. Do you want to know the insider secret? Like, really? How many of you want to know how the big banks and the institutions are doing it, right? I traded for them. I know exactly what they're doing, how they trade the market. So here's the insider secret. Institutions, they don't trade price, okay? They trade levels. Every day, hedge funds, they watch one thing, that institutional line. What is that institutional line? It's the price level, okay, that big guys are waiting for to be hit, okay, before they put on massive trades. Once that line breaks, That's when institutions make their trade. Now, here it is, people. The level break indicator. I use this exact indicator on the institutional desk, but here's what most people don't know. Okay, most indicators out there have it all wrong. Okay, they calculate even price incorrectly. Okay, some example, like they're using the basic open, high, low, close data that gives you lagging, inaccurate levels. And when I was on the institutional desk, you know what they taught me? They taught me exactly how to trade. Right? They told me what calculations to use and what to look for, right? So example, the level break indicator, it uses something called HLCC4 calculations. What does that mean? It takes the high, the low, the close, and the close again, weighted 4 times. This helps give you a truer picture of what's going on with the price. Okay, and it shows you where institutions are positioned and what they're watching. So most retail indicators, they don't even know that this exists. It's unbelievable. But for institutions, this is standard. Okay, and here's the other thing. Most people don't even consider this. Okay, not all price data is equally reliable. Okay, a lot of indicators treat every single candle the same. Even when the market is thin and it has no volume, they're still treating price like it's concrete. Okay, so my system, it doesn't just calculate levels, it has filtering. Okay, my indicator, I said, it uses that HLCC4 as a part of the foundation. Combine that with, VWAP, price action, volume profile, block orders, weighted average of the price spent over the last highest highs. If I tell you any more, the institutions are going to kill me. No, I'm kidding, guys. But look, I took all of this, programmed it together to identify what institutions are looking at, okay? I can't give away the exact proprietary calculations, but this is basically my institutional coding condensed into just a buy line and a sell line. Okay, I know it might look too easy, right? But what you don't see is what's behind this, right? You're not seeing the hundreds of hours of coding, the algorithms, the backtesting, the research that breaks this all down into 2 simple lines. I use this indicator to identify breakout and breakdown opportunities. Okay, that's it. Now, who wants to hear more? This indicator, I'll tell you, it took me over 100 hours of coding to perfect. Okay, I use the same indicator on the institutional desk, and here's the truth. I mean, it would cost you tens of thousands of dollars to pay someone to build something like this, and still with no guarantee that it would even work when they try to deliver it to you, right? This is the institutional edge. This is what I use, and now you. Okay, I'm going to show you guys how you can have it. So who here thinks that, if they had the same, strategy that institutions use, that you can make some serious money pretty quick? This isn't just an indicator. This is the indicator, okay? The one that levels the playing field, okay? And everyone, it gets better. This indicator, it fits right onto your chart. It's easily uploaded to your TradingView account in minutes. And for those of you who don't know what TradingView is, it's a very simple charting platform. It lets you look at stocks, ETFs, the price of gold, really, anything that you can trade. Now, everyone, I am going to demonstrate this indicator live right now for you so that you can see how powerful the strategy is. First, let me explain something to you, and it's super important. Okay, it's called asymmetric risk reward. It's one of the most important things that I learned at university. And, before you get into any trade, you need to know what your maximum loss is. Make sense? So with asymmetric risk reward, like you're risking $1 to try to make $3, right? That's 3-to-1 risk reward. So let's practice. If we're risking, say, $100 in a trade, what's the maximum that we can lose? I see 100, right? Awesome. That's it, right? But with 3-to-1 risk reward, when you win, you make $300, right? That's 3 times your risk. So even if you're right only half the time, you're still making money. And that's how I win only 6, 7 out of 10 trades, and I still generate massive profits. Okay, this is what great traders know and do. And simply put, you need to know your total loss, right, from the very beginning, so that there's no surprise, no guessing, right? You want to risk small so you can win big, right? That's the name of the game. All right, guys. Let me show you how my indicator works. Okay, this is how I trade every single day. Right, you see 2 lines here. Buy line on the top, sell line on the bottom. While price is moving in between those 2 lines, as it is right here, your job is to do absolutely nothing, right? So going back to my time on the institutional desk, institutions don't even know, right, what price is going to do. Price is going to go up, down, sideways, in circles. So how could you, right? That's the key. If price is trading in the middle of the buy and the sell line, there's no trade, okay? At that point, it's just gambling, right? That's where everyone is getting chopped up, right? Up, down, up, down, up. You get long here, you make a little money, now you're down, right? Losing their accounts, blowing it up, just getting chopped. I made this indicator to cut through the chop, okay? You only trade when a breakout or a breakdown occurs. That's when you make the most money in the shortest amount of time, okay? But here's what you got to understand. It's not enough for, price to just touch the line or, just cross the line. Many indicators are like that, okay? Many indicators. They're just dumb, right? Price crosses the line. It's just like, you make the trade, you lose money, right? Not here, okay? You need two things to happen before you execute the trade. Number one, price has to get above the buy line or below the sell line, okay? And number two, the line itself has to break or turn off. Okay, see how the lines right now, they're illuminated red on the sell line, nice illuminated green on the buy line, right? They haven't turned off or been broken yet. So once that happens, that's your confirmation, okay? And I'm going to show you guys exactly what I mean. So let's dive in. Now, as you see here, price is starting to get closer to that buy line on the top there, okay? But of course, just because we're getting closer, doesn't mean that we do anything. So we don't want to jump the gun here. So see right here, some time goes on. Price moved higher very nicely, right, above the buy line. And that green buy line, it's no longer that, nice illuminated green, right? It's this faint green. The buy line has now turned off, right? It's no longer illuminated. Right? The buy line has now been broken, okay? And we're breaking out, and the indicator's letting us know. Now, that's our signal, okay? So what do we do, guys? Price is above the buy line. The buy line has been broken. What do? We buy, okay? Right here. That's right. Awesome. So, again, well done. You guys got the answer right? As I said before, we want to maximize our wins and minimize our losses, right? So what do? I set my stop loss right after I enter into the trade, okay? And then I set my take profit. And you can barely see it all the way up there, all the way up there at the top. And I'm not being greedy here, okay? I'm just following the indicator. Okay, with the level break indicator, it cuts out the guessing. So I'm going to let some time go by in this chart, right? We see same setup, right? Just kind of chopping around, but nothing happening just yet. The buy line is still broken, so we're still in that long trade. And then, a couple more minutes pass. We aren't losing any money on this, people, so no anxiety here, really. Already up $1,000 on that trade. And then there it goes. We waited just a tad longer. I book a $1,500 gainer. Absolutely perfect. It's easy if you have an indicator that was used by institutions, right? I mean, everything else and you're just guessing or you're just betting against yourself, and there's no need to do that. So let's take a look at another trade that I did on gold. Now, next trade, right? You can see buy line on the top, sell line on the bottom. I can make money when price goes up or when it goes down. Okay, see here, price is touching the sell line, right? But the sell line hasn't been broken yet. It's still that illuminated, red. So I'm paying attention, right? I'm just waiting because there's no need to preemptively jump in short here, just so that we can pat ourselves on the back and say, oh, look at me, I'm a trader. I knew where the market was going. No need to do that. Okay, so what I do is I sit and I wait because really, with this indicator, when it happens, it really happens. And I'm going to show you guys what I mean here. So I wait just a couple bars. Sell line finally breaks. Okay, I enter in short. I actually entered in short late here. I could have entered probably somewhere in and around the middle of this. But I was a little bit late entering at the bottom. So let's see how it goes, right? So right after that, I set my stop loss. That's obviously how much I'm willing to lose on this trade. And then I set my take profit, how much I'm trying to make on this trade. Like I said, I like 3-to-1 risk reward. So on this trade, I'm risking $350 to make, try to make a little over 1,000. All right, so let's let some time go by on this chart here. So this trade just about to hit my take profit, and there you guys have it. A short trade that I entered in late, okay, but I had my risk reward defined. and I made $1,050 in 38 minutes. Actually took a while. Usually it's quicker than that, but it was a slow Wednesday last week. So now, because I value transparency, take a look at this trade right here. This was actually a losing trade that I kind of, did on purpose just to help illustrate something critical. Now, like I said, you will have losing trades, but I've been doing this for so long that I can teach you guys to identify trades that might play out just like this, inevitably helping you avoid losses. Okay, so in this trade is very simple. Sell line broke to the downside. I got short, hoping price would continue to fall. And then price kept going higher. And actually, one other thing happened here. It's a perfect learning example. Okay, the sell line, it turned back on. Okay, you see how that sell line initially broke? And, price kind of started chopping around, moving a little bit higher, right? And then that bold illuminated red line came back on. You want to be out of the trade before that line turns back on. And this is what we will go into in my program. I'm going to teach you guys exactly how to use this, how to spot trends just like this. So because this happened, I closed out this trade. I didn't even wait for my stop loss to be hit. And I booked a $290 loss instead of waiting for the $500 stop loss to get hit. So this is why discipline and risk management, they matter, right? You want to protect your capital and your account, and I will teach you a consistent way to do this, okay? The same risk management techniques that we use on the institutional desk to make sure that we protected the millions that we were generating. So let's add those up. Right, the last three trades. Trade number one, $1,500 profit, right? Trade number two, $1,050 profit. Trade number three, we know was a loss, right? $290 loss. Grand total, $2,260. I don't care if the market's going up or going down. I make money both ways, multiple markets, and I'm going to show you guys what I mean. So this is what separates my indicator, okay, from every other, piece of junk that's out there. Okay, come on, toot my own horn. The biggest problem with most indicators is, like I said before, they're just kind of dumb, right? If you blindly follow them, then they might lead to losses, right? That's why I program something special into the level break indicator, okay? It's called abnormal candle filtering. This is what keeps you out of fake breakouts or fake outs, as we call them, okay? Now look at this chart right here. You might think, hey, Tony, price is above the buy line, that's a long, right? But notice one thing, right? The word buy line and the line itself, it hasn't turned off, right? Okay, the level has not been broken yet. That buy line is still illuminated green, okay? That's that abnormal candle filtering keeping you out of a potentially bad trade. Okay, so let's let some time go by and see what happened after this. Okay, see that? All right, we're right up here. Immediate rejection to the downside. Push right up to the buy line, got rejected to the downside. But if you followed my level break indicator, you successfully avoided a bad trade. That's a win. Okay, this is exactly what I'm talking about, right? This indicator, it filters out the garbage that destroys most traders. And again, you want to trade with the institutional edge, this is it. This indicator is so powerful that you can apply the indicator to markets outside of gold or precious metals. Okay, so let me show you. Who here trades silver? Just last Thursday, I make $3,225 in under 30 minutes with my indicator. It took a little while, but it finally broke to the downside. What about Bitcoin? Any Bitcoin traders in the room? You still left standing? I know, it's been so tough. All right. So I don't usually trade Bitcoin, okay, but I couldn't pass this one up. The other morning, I made like $2,450 in like 20 minutes. I was on the phone with one of my buddies who, he's talking about Bitcoin, he constantly trades it. And I was just had the indicator up on my chart and I was like, hey, I'm getting a buy signal from my indicator. I jumped in and it was just up and to the right. If you wait for the signal, when it happens, it really happens in your favor. Now, quick question. How many of you don't do day trading? I use this on multiple time frames. Okay, what do I mean by that? I'm not just using it on the 1 minute chart, the 5 minute chart, whatever. I'm using it on the 4 hour chart, the 1 hour chart, the 1 day chart, right? So multiple time frames for any long-term investment, right? This indicator can help you identify long-term buying opportunities. Okay, so for example, GLD, right? That's the gold ETF, the Spider Gold ETF. So I use this to capture a 15% gain in 1 month from initiating the same strategy that I use to day trade. And all I had to do was essentially zoom out of the chart, right? Get that longer term look. So as you can see, we get the buy signal. Actually, I entered in late. It took a little bit of a dip, nowhere near my stop loss, and it just rips. I mean, it kept on going. Obviously, you guys know what's been going on in gold, right? And don't forget, I'm generally not risking any of my money at all when I trade my strategy in any of the prop accounts. Okay, so take a look at these. I mean, you guys want proof? I'm all about it, really. Because like I said, you should listen to teachers and not to preachers. And I said to you before, I collected $35,000 in the last 3 months of the year. You're just from one prop account, one prop firm that I trade with. So if you think it's too good to be true, think again. Okay, we brought the receipts. So here's a pro tip. When you're using the indicator, once you've hit your profit target for the day, you have to stop. Stop trading. Easiest thing for me to say, hardest thing for you to do. Okay, the days that I make a few $1,000s in a morning and just log off, those are the best days, right? And I can train you on the indicator. I can teach you how to read a chart like a doctor. I can show you everything. But here's what you're going to struggle with the most. You make $1,500 on your first trade, and then you don't stop trading, right? That's the hardest part. Why? Because it felt easy, right? And when something feels easy, you think, hey, I can do that again, right? So promise me this, right? When you make your first profitable trade for the day, you stop. Even if it's within the first minute of entering into the position, and it just goes in your favor, right? That's where most people fail, okay? They just don't stop. I mean, how many of you would be happy with, $5,000, $500, $5,000, $1,500 in a day? So you got to promise me, after you hit your profit goal for the day, you stop trading, and you got to hold yourself to it. Okay, now my only question is, what are you going to do with the success? Success comes down to 3 things, right? Number 1, you got to decide what you want, right? So what's your why? Like, why are you doing this? Why do you want to, get into this, right? Is it financial security? Is it your family? Is it so that you have options, right? Is it number 2, like, find someone who's already done it and follow their system, right? That's why Tika's bringing you guys here today. That's why I'm showing you the level break indicator and my success with it. And number 3, and it's the ultimate, you got to take action, because nothing changes if nothing changes. I mean, remember, my burning desire was to help, make money for my family because we had nothing and we were struggling. Now I'm 30 years old. I never have to work in an office again. So at this point, you're probably thinking, Tony, I want this strategy, right? How do I get it? So introducing the Go for Gold program. Okay, you're going to receive step-by-step instruction on how to implement this strategy right now. And I'm going to show you guys everything that you need to trade consistently in the market, in the gold market, in all markets. Okay, with this strategy, you're going to be able to capitalize on major market moves to help extract bigger returns and also protect your downside, right? So here's what you get. You're going to get my proprietary level break indicator built by me. I always like to say, stop trading on hope, right? Hope is not a trading strategy. Okay, this is a breakdown indicator. It shows you exactly where the institutions are waiting. Okay, so you know when they're about to come in and start buying or selling. Okay, you guys know how it works, right? When price breaks the level, you move with the smart money, right? You move with them. And here's the power of this system. You can use it on any market with a lot of volume, a lot of liquidity, right? Individual stocks, cryptos, futures. It's one indicator that you can use on multiple markets. And you're going to get full step-by-step instructions, right? When to enter, when to exit. If you can follow a recipe, then you can follow this. So with my indicator, there's no more guessing, right? You stop gambling, you stop FOMOing trades, chasing trades, and you got to start executing a plan, right? Helping to minimize that risk and, of course, maximize those gains, right? So what you're going to get today, the level break indicator, the video walkthroughs, the entries, the exits, everything, right? Position sizing, everything laid out step by step, right? So what are some of the extra benefits that come with the program, right? You're going to cut out screen time. So you're only going to focus on high probability setups. This helps you avoid the chop, right? Those losing trades. So you can use this indicator on, small accounts, big accounts, $500 or $500,000. Plus, you're going to get free updates, okay? The indicator, it's already perfect, right? But if I roll out, another update, it's yours with nothing more to pay. So total value here, I mean, if you hired a programmer to build this, or if you wanted to hire me to code it again, like I'd probably charge you like $20,000 because this indicator, it wins and it can be used on any market that you want to trade. So again, how do I get this indicator? It's simple. Once you purchase, we send you the level break indicator directly into your TradingView account. Okay, if you don't have one, right? I have modules, how to set it up, how to register, don't worry. So it works on your desktop, it works on your tablet, your mobile phone, just a couple of clicks, and the indicator's on your chart, calculating the levels in real time. That's it. We send it, you click, it's live. I'm also going to give you a $50K instant funded prop account so you can deploy my system and start making money in real time, right? Without risking a dollar of your own money. So we've partnered with Prop Ed Capital. Who are they? Right? They're a cutting edge prop firm. They just launched, right? They've agreed to offer a $50K instant funded account as a part of this package today only. Now, normally, you'd have to pay a fee, complete some sort of multi-step evaluation, before you could get started getting paid. But Prop Ed Capital, their instant funded account removes that entire challenge. So it's letting you start trading with simulated capital immediately. Okay, and again, a prop account, it's like a trading simulator for trading, right? You're using the firm's money instead of your own money. Think of it this way, right? You'll learn to trade under real market conditions. They give you a simulated account with their capital, and you follow strict trading rules, to help you avoid the reckless and emotional trading that kills everyone. And if you profit, you get 80% of the gains in real cash. Okay, and if you lose, you don't owe any money. And don't worry, guys. The instructions to sign up for this, they're going to be emailed to you. Everything's electronic. Don't worry. So here's the best part. I'm not just handing you the indicator and saying, hey, good luck. I'm going to personally show you guys how to use it, everything that you need. So I'm going to give you my video modules, okay, step by step, through everything, like the platform, the prop account, the trade identification, the checklist, the execution, journaling, gold trading rules, so that you can have a plan, right? So you're going to know exactly how to trade like a pro, not by guessing, right? We're done with that. It's the fastest way to get you trained and making money live, right? I mean, you can go back, you can replay the modules, learn at your own pace. Listen, I built the indicator. Now I'm going to show you how to use it. So this is easily a $4,000 in value, but it's included in the program today. Plus, you're going to get an exclusive bonus. Okay, 12 months of priority email support, direct from me and my team. No bots, no offshore support, right? Real people who actually trade and who actually know the indicator. Because at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. You have a question, you need a setup, you want a second set of eyes in your chart, you've got it. Total value of that alone, 12 months of email support, $2,500. I mean, now, if you didn't know, I'm all about adding value, right? So here's exactly what you're getting. Number one, the level break indicator, right? 100 hours of coding. It's the same indicator that I used on the institutional desk. You're going to get a $50K prop account so you can trade my system in real time. You're going to get the complete video training from setup to execution, and then 12 months of priority support, right? Direct access from me and my team. Total value that I'm offering you guys, over $27,000, right? And I'm not going to show you how to use the indicator. I want to show you guys how I've won awards using this system, right? I'm going to show you guys how to trade successfully using the same indicators that you saw here. For this challenge alone, I made $10,000 in 5 days. And again, this challenge, I made over $10,000 in 3 days. I've won loads of trading challenges and competitions using the same indicator that I'm going to give you guys. And I've made thousands more using it every single day in my brokerage account. So don't sleep on this, guys, really. In the past week, I booked a $1,050 profit in one morning, right? And again, another beautiful trade, on gold, $1,500, 20 minutes. Last Thursday, $3,225 in just under 30 minutes in silver. And $2,450 profit in just 20 minutes on Bitcoin. I don't usually trade it, but it was there for the taking, right? And then back to gold. This is the other morning, right? $2,120 profit in the first hour of trading. So, you might be asking, can I do this in another way? You could try. Right? You try to mash up a bunch of free indicators, mash them all together, hoping that they work. My level break indicator, it reads what the big players are reading, and it shows you the levels that they're waiting for. So the fact is, there is no comparison. Right? You can waste years or tens of thousands of dollars, trust me, trying other routes, or you can get the level break indicator, direct coaching from me, my team, proven strategy today. Right? The fact is, there is no comparison. Now, because you're taking action today, I'm going to give you guys an awesome bonus on top of everything else. And guys, I'm all about adding value, like I said. As a way of saying thank you, here's what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you my Go for Physical Gold Storage course, okay? It's how to buy physical gold, how to store it, any tax limitations that you should pay attention to, anything that you should know about physical gold in easy step-by-step modules as well, right? Because I want you to know everything about gold so that you can be an expert on it like I am. And all right, actually, before we wrap this up, I've got something extra special for you guys. You've seen the level break indicator. You've seen how it identifies institutional levels and those high probability setups. But what if I told you I could teach you my daily strategy, okay? Something that takes your trading to the absolute next level. So I'm going to be hosting a live 2-day workshop, 2 different time zones. Okay, so don't worry if you can't make it to one. I'm going to show you guys an advanced strategy that I use every single day. Okay, this isn't theory, right? I'm going to be showing you guys real-time setups, okay? Walking you through the exact checklist before I enter trades. And the best part is that you're going to get the chance to ask questions, right? See live executions, watch me break down trades as they're happening. So you're going to get a front row seat when you join the Go for Gold program. Now, who here thinks that they can learn a lot from just even watching me walk through my process live, right? So if you're serious about trading and you're learning, you don't want to miss this. So here's the entire package, guys. Everything that you see here, you get the level break indicator, the video modules, 12 months email support, you get a 50K instant funded prop account, my Go for Physical Gold Storage course, plus access to my live 2-day workshop. Total value here, over $30,000. Now, here's the thing. You're not going to pay $30,000, okay? Not even close. I'm going to give you guys an amazing offer, okay? I'll put it to you straight. This is my offer. I built the level break indicator myself. It took over 100 hours of coding, development, testing, refinement. It's based on the same institutional levels approach that I use on the institutional desk. So when you join today, you're not just going to get the indicator. Okay, you're going to be getting the full training so you know exactly how to use it. So the price today, for today only, is $2,497 USD, one-time payment, right? Click on the link. It's in the chat right now to secure your spot so you guys can start trading with the precision today. And just, to put it into perspective, even look at the last couple of trades that I showed you, $2,100 profit, $3,000 profit. One solid trade can cover nearly the entire cost of the program. So everyone, the link is in the chat, 2497 USD, one-time payment. Let's get you guys set up. And just so there's zero risk on your part, I'm offering you guys a 14-day money-back guarantee. Okay, go through the program, apply the strategy. If you don't see the value, you don't think that you can do it, whatever it is, email me, I'll refund you, no questions asked. That's how confident I am that you're going to be blown away with this system. So click on the link in the chat, go ahead, grab your spot right now. And I see it. Okay, I see you filtering in, guys. Any questions that you might have, had? Thank you so much for, listening intently. Bring them down on the forefront of the chat so I can answer some of your questions. All right. Let me take some questions here. So I got some questions. Do I need trading experience to do this? You don't need years of trading experience or, a background in finance to do this. I built the go for gold in the level break indicator for everyday people, right, who want a professional edge. Okay, so you can get the full step-by-step instructions, the video walkthroughs. I'm going to personally, walk you through the setups, the entries, the exits, what I look for. So if you can follow a simple plan, you can execute this with ease. If you go to the link in the chat, you're going to see a full payment, right, or a partial payment, right? I think the partial pay is what, 997, 3 payments. But the pay in full, it's a little bit cheaper, but ultimately, just get in however you can. You grab your spot, you pay as you go with the profits, if you're using the strategy. So click on the link in the chat right now, guys. Secure your spot. So this system, it works on stocks, it works on ETFs, it works on futures, okay? The indicator automatically adapts to markets that you're trading, okay? Because it's powered by TradingView, which is super powerful platform. You change the chart, you look at something else, a different security, a different market, it's going to automatically rerun the code every single millisecond, okay, giving you what institutional levels you should be on the lookout for. Can I use this on, the 15-minute, the higher time frames, the 4-hour, the weekly? Absolutely. Of course, every market is a little bit different, right? Your levels are going to change with every market, but still, even so, I used it on a gold ETF ticker. The ticker is GLD, just to do a long-term trade in my retirement account, my 401k, because I was like, I daily trade the precious metals, silver, gold, all that. But for the retirement account, I was like, listen, gold's like going up. It was just like $4,000 at the time, $4,500. I was like, should I get in this, right? Should I get in? And of course, I have a little bit of an allocation into gold, but nonetheless, I looked at it, the daily chart, and it was like, yeah, it's I got the signal, the buy signal. It's going for a breakout. Okay, you get your levels. You can sit back, relax, make a trade today, and come back to it in a week or 2 weeks. For anyone that likes swing trading, anything like that. How soon can I start trading with the system? Immediately. Pretty much immediately, right after joining, right? You pay, you get access. If you don't have a TradingView account, you got to register, of course. Share your TradingView username with us, and then we're going to send the script. We're going to shoot it directly into your account. All right, so there's no, copy, paste, make a code, do anything like none of that. Okay, it's very simple. It's going to get shared with you. Literally, point, click, you're done. Next. All right, what makes this different from all the other indicators out there? I mean, there's so many other indicators out there, and I'm sure that anyone that's in trading has been around the block can attest to this. A lot of the breakdown indicators, like I said, they're just dumb, right? If the code is garbage, then it's going to give you garbage signals, right? And usually they're made by people that have no idea, right? They just go to ChatGPT and try to pump out a script. Guys, I was trained by the institutions to do this, okay? I know exactly what to look for. It's the same indicator that I was using on the institutional desk. I mean, are there other ways to trade? Yes, sure, okay? But you got to pick one strategy and you got to go with it. And if it's a winning strategy, then it's all the more power to you, right? I always say, keep it simple, right? You've probably heard it, right? Keep it simple. In trading, it's so true. Just because someone has a crazy chart, they're looking at so many colors, so many indicators, all this, it's majority of the time leads to analysis paralysis, right? And when you're under pressure, and what is pressure when you're trading? Well, pressure is when you enter into a trade and it immediately goes against you. You're losing money. It's real dollars. What are you going to do? You're going to pay attention to the indicator that just got you into a losing trade, or are you going to follow the system, right? That's why you need a system, and that's what you're getting here with the Go for Gold program. So again, guys, thank you so much. I want to respect everybody's time here. All right? I had an hour with you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for allowing me to talk to your people. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much, guys. The link is in the chat. Go for Gold, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Tony, for that presentation. Learned a lot about gold myself. And it is prize time once again. Let's get the prizes up here. Let's see, I have so many apps open right now, it's easy to lose stuff. So let's go to that. Okay.